Welcome to video 9 of Kansas DOT's Mastering Open Roads Designer. This is the survey data import topic. Video number 9, we're going to be exporting the survey data that we created to a 2D topo file. And then we're going to work within that 2D topo file a little bit. We'll show you some of the areas that need a little bit of manual cleanup. Creating the 2D topo file is a two-step process. The first step is to export the survey object graphics to DGN graphics. So we can do that for the entire field book. I'm going to right click on the field book and choose Export To from the right click menu. And we want to choose DGN graphics. We'll export it to just the file that I'm working in. And this is not our final file, so I'm going to call it temp export survey in the project. Again, this is a temporary file. This is not the final deliverable. We're in the file created by the export to DGN graphics process, and if we select one of these objects, you'll see that we're no longer looking at survey data anymore. We're looking at simple MicroStation CAD objects now. So let's now flatten these to 2D. So our method of doing that is File, Export to 2D. And I'm going to go ahead and store it in the same area that I'm working, and this file is a final deliverable. Our naming convention would be KA project ID 01 STP is the 2D topo file designator, and then it's file 01. Press OK, and we've created our 2D topo file. We're in our newly created 2D topo file, and let's take a look at that billboard that we were talking about. So you can see there was two shots for the billboard. Again, if we look at the code sheet, it would tell us that it would shoot facing that sign from the right side to the left side, and that creates the width and the direction for that sign. So in this case, what we would do is we would use the sorry about that. We would use the generic linear feature as the controlling item to control the direction that was created by those two shots. We would delete one cell, and then we would rotate and then resize the other billboard cell, so we'd be left with a single billboard cell, the correct width and the correct location. It's important to remember to check the KDOT code sheet before doing these manual cell manipulations in the 2D topo file. You want to check the shot pattern on these two-shot codes. So for billboards, for example, the KDOT code sheet says that you stand in front facing the billboard, facing that sign, and then you shoot the right edge, and then you shoot the left edge. And that pattern is going to be different for different types of codes, but for billboards, it would be right and then left as you're facing it. So for the example that we're looking at, that means that billboard is facing south. You can tell this by the start and end on that linear feature that was created from those 2 points. You can also usually tell by the point names. The progressive numbering is going to indicate which point was shot first. So it's very important that you understand the shot patterns and you take that into account when you're doing these manual manipulations, so you get not just the size but also the orientation of the billboard correct. And some of these shot patterns for these two-shot codes can be different for different types of codes. So for bushes, for example, you're going to shoot the center of the bush, and then you're going to shoot the outside of the edge of the bush. You're establishing the radius of the bush. And so the way you're going to treat the bush cells with that final manual adjustments here in the 2D topo file is different than what we're about to do for the billboards. So make sure you know the two-shot pattern before you perform these cell adjustments. So I'm now going to go ahead and do that for the billboard cells. I'll do that in fast time. Another location where we need to do some manual correction was at the single post signs for delineators. So we left these markers on for signs that, we'll delete those out of this file after we find all the delineators. And a good way to find the delineators, I found this one because we knew where it was, but a good way to find some of the other ones is if we go back to the other file, the one that contains all of our survey data, and we look in Explorer for all point features, and let's look at these sign features, the details for that. And now in this details dialog box, we'll expand it to make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to sort by link code. So I'm just going to sort ascending, and the reason for that is any sign that was shot with a two-point pattern is going to have a start or an end linking code. 2 points, it's creating a linear feature, it has to have it. The single shot sign codes will not have a linking code. So by sorting by linking code, I can easily identify the 4 points that were a single shot. Those are probably delineators. So if I now use, and 1294 is the one we were already looking at, so we can see that. Now I can find the other 4 by highlighting them here in the details pane. If we zoom out a little bit further, we can see there was one of these delineators on the far east of the survey. 1218, that one's located up close to the intersection, and 1316 is the last one, other side of the intersection. So we would now go back to our 2D topo file, and back in our 2D topo file we can use simple standard MicroStation workflows to place the sign cells that we want at these locations representing those delineators. The third area that we would want to do manual adjustments on is just indicating the utility owners. We can use text to do that and text placement tools in MicroStation. And when we've completed that, we've created our 2D topo file. That concludes the survey data import topic in Kansas DOT's Mastering Open Roads Designer Training Series. We're very interested to hear your feedback. Please send us your comments using this email address. Thank you.